So welcome everyone. Yeah, I love optimism. So I was excited that optimism is one of the pearls of wisdom. Um, and I just thought, oh yeah, of course, it is going to be. And seven pathways to optimism, and or seven ways of transforming to becoming an optimist. I expected things like that to be what I would share with you. And actually, it wasn't that. It was really about optimism is one of the things which is a matter of choice. And therefore, uh, what, what I received was to share the seven secrets that are hidden in optimism, which is why optimism becomes something which is a pearl of wisdom. Each pearl is whole and complete in itself. And it's a pearl because it enables us to create a world that works for everyone. So we're going to be talking about that. And if we have some time left, we can have questions as well. Um, so the first secret that is hidden in optimism. Now, well, before I even talk about that, what does it even mean? You know, secrets hidden in optimism. What it means is that when we take up optimism as a way of living our life, remember, life by itself is simply, an organism. It's a state. It's an organism that's breathing. And that state can change in a click of a finger in a moment. An organism stops breathing. And there is a purpose to, having life. And there is only one purpose, and it is the same purpose for all of us, which is to live our life and come alive. So there are different modalities, different modes, different ways in which we can choose to live our life. And optimism is one of the ways. So the seven secrets hidden in optimism, when we take on to live our life with optimism, and that is our modus operandi, then these are the secrets that are hidden within it. That literally like navigating your way through a treasure-filled um, journey of surprises, many of these surprises that will surprise you and delight you. These secrets are a part of that. They're a part that creates that experience. They're a part that define what kind of surprises that are going to come your way when you choose optimism as a way of living your life. So the first secret is openness. Openness. So when you choose optimism as a way of living your life, openness opens up for you. Not only that, when you choose optimism as a way of living your life, you open the door to openness. And because you've chosen optimism as a way of living your life, you cross the threshold and you go to the other side of what's then available to you in a clearing of openness. And what's available to you in a clearing of openness is it's like a gourmet banquet that you can pick and choose from to co-create your experiences. You experience people, opportunities, openings, collaborators, co-creators, possibilities, a whole variety of things. You can have them in the form of a taster's menu, like taste little things, or you can really sit down and enjoy this multi-course banquet that is laid out for you. And every experience is an experience that invokes all and activates all of your senses. It's a sensory experience. Now, when you have taken on to, to live your way with optimism, and you are in this clearing of openness, then the invitation is for you to step forward and have a go. Not simply try, because trying is simply trying, but you can step forward and have a go with what you are presented. Now, that could be an experience that feels traumatic, that could be an experience that feels exhilarating, but it calls you to be proactive and in action to really experience and have a go. And you will, it's as if your mind comes along with you. You want to have a go. So, how do you know whether you are in this clearing of openness? You find yourself having, like really steering in the direction of saying yes to opportunities and openings as opposed to saying no. Doesn't mean that you're not discerning. It does, you can be supremely discerning, because the more you are, you know, consciously aware and owning up to optimism as your way of moving forward in terms of how you live your life, the more trust starts to develop. And you start to trust that what's going to be in this delectable banquet is something that is going to uplift you. And this is the other piece. Optimism calls you to be consciously aware at all times. So I have for a long time been an eternal optimist, but I did not necessarily work with these secrets in a very conscious way. I find myself sliding in and out of these. Now that I know what these secrets are, and I can work with them in a very conscious way, particularly the secret of openness, it allows me to really anchor, put a stake in the ground, and even declare that I am choosing the optimist path to live this life. And it automatically, this openness automatically makes you an alchemist, where you can literally tap into these different ingredients of what is presented to you: experiences, opportunities, stories, possibilities, and combine them to create something new. And that something new blossoms out and presents a whole collection of, like a whole bouquet of new experiences. Openness, what was exciting for me was, here we are, stationed in the new world, where unknown is the known, uncertainty is certain. Take nothing for granted is the modus operandi. And it is time to move from sustainable to regenerative. Openness implemented in how you live your life as an optimist creates these alchemical combinations that are your conscious choice that become regenerative and create more for you to be optimistic about. And what that also means is, even if there is a down moment, or things go on outside of you that have an impact on you, and you may for a moment buy into the downbeat pessimistic stories, because you are an optimist and you've already got on a path of this regenerative set of possibilities, and you're already operating as an alchemist, you come out of that of your own volition and of your own choice. So how can you practically implement this? A practical way of implementing this is always begin with understanding what the lay of the land is. What is the lay of the land? What is actually there that you see? Are you in a clearing of openness? And the way you know that is by looking at what is going on around you. That what is it that you're working with? Are there opportunities? Are there, or do you call them distractions? Do you call them, I mean, are you, is what is going on outside of you causing you to be judgmental about it or become, you know, um, starting to become over analytical to and fro and pros and cons and all of that. Those are all indicators of whether or not you recognize that you're in this clearing of openness. Clearing by itself is open. Openness calls you. When you step into that clearing, you step into a state of allowing. And you allow yourself to see what may be invisible, but it may be seen by others as something that could be a catastrophic situation. You're able to see it as an opening for a transformation, an opening for making some choices, an opening for, finding a way in which you can uplift yourself by looking at, given that you are in this situation, what are the positive aspects of being in this situation? You're able to notice and, in fact, even preempt when your mind is going to go on a spin. And you're able to refocus it by honoring its desire to go on a spin. And you're not afraid of that. Because where you are stationed is in the choice that you have made at the get-go, which is a way of living your life, is living it with optimism. So understand the lay of the land for yourself. With optimism, particularly, especially if you are a wannabe optimist, or you want to resurrect that muscle of optimism that you once had, at some point in your life, and it somehow got tired or jaded, but you want to, tone it up once again. The more you know where you're at, the more you look at it without any judgment or evaluation of yourself, the easier it is to step into it. And this secret of openness supports you in that. It actually takes you away from being judgmental about yourself. So you look at the lay of the land just as it is, without necessarily going into that, your own opinions about it or others' opinions about it. You notice the opinions coming in, you notice your own opinions rising, and you acknowledge them, and you unconditionally accept what is, and you stand in the space of openness. First of all, just literally cataloging the lay of the land. And from within that, once you don't rush into it. This is how you work with the secrets, and that's why we are being given the secrets to optimism here. Secrets hidden within optimism. Because it basically takes away the rush out of anything. And you land up in a very discerning way, picking and choosing exactly that. which supports you to move forward in such a way that optimism regenerates. And you move forward much faster than you would have otherwise done yourself. It's important when you look at the clearing of optimism. You allow yourself to intuitively receive for yourself, what do I have going for me here? What opportunities are there? What openings are there for me to step into? If I was to capture those opportunities and those openings, what possibilities emerge as a result? And if I was to harness those possibilities, what kind of experience will I have? Who do I have who I can bring in as my collaborators? Who do I have that I can bring in as my co-creators? What's available to me? And all of these things, when you're standing in the clearing, you're decluttered. Confusion is released, and you're actually able to focus and allow all of these things that you may have picked up, but not necessarily focused on, to really come to the surface and work with in a very powerful way. And if you are someone who knows your source mastery and you're standing in your source mastery, you have your miracle lens and are looking through the miracle lens, what you see is an even more finely tuned, ready packaged set of ingredients that you can put together. So when you understand that openness is one of the secrets hidden within optimism, you can also take a problem or a concern or something that's been bothering you, step into the clearing because you already have. It opens the doorway to openness. You already have access to that. You step into it. And you will, with this problem or concern that you have, you're now in a clearing. You'll immediately feel that exhale moment and that cloak or shroud of various things that you might have burdened yourself with just drops down, and you're able to be in a lightness of being and use your senses. What's being shown to me? What is actually being shown to me? I see this, but what's actually being shown to me? What am I supposed to really listen to in what I'm hearing? What's this fragrance in amidst all of this stuff that's got a medley of smells in it? Literally work with your senses. Does it taste? Is this a taste that I want to continue experiencing? Or do I need to add something else? Is it time to add a garnish? Or sprinkle some of my pixie dust, which would be your equivalent of herbs, to change the taste? How do I feel as I'm working with this? Do I want to feel that? Or do I want to feel something else? So what do I already have in my pantry, in my life experiences that I can add to the mix? So it is literally your laboratory. I mean, what I loved about this for me is just becoming an alchemist, you know, of my life, taking every experience of my life as an ingredient that I can add to my alchemical adventures and experiments. and create something new. What I also liked about this whole thing is this whole notion of stepping into a clearing of openness and feeling that lightness of being, like literally rising, that experience of my wings opening up. And it's my clearing. I play. I play, and aliveness is the consequence of this play that is taking place. Because my choices and what they produce regenerate anyway, and I can always go there. So that's the secret hidden within the choice of optimism, openness. And you work with it and you work it. The way openness as a secret delivers to you is by integrating it in how you live your life. The overarching umbrella or the context is optimism. These secrets are available to those that have made the choice of optimism as their way of living their life. And there is a question that arises. What if I want to do that, but I'm not there yet? So here's what I want to say to you about that, which is, think about it. As a baby, when a baby is born, children are optimists. They're eternal optimists. You're born with optimism. Think about it. It takes a lot of being weighed down by, cultural or societal norms for a child to give up on optimism. If they were pessimistic, they wouldn't keep trying. They wouldn't keep going with, oh, let's just attempt to take that roll over again, even though the first time it didn't work. They may cry a little, but they'll still go on and attempt it and attempt it and attempt it until it's done. And then it's time to move on to the next thing. And every baby step is a big one because there's no going back once you've done it. So you are a born optimist. You are a trained pessimist. You are not a born pessimist. Your environment may be one that is pessimistic and it would have had an effect on you. That's true. But you can go back to being who you truly are. And being an optimist is your true nature. You wouldn't even be here, regardless of whatever your mental state may be, or whatever your approaches to living your life may be. You wouldn't be here if that optimism within you wasn't still alive and kicking. You just have to choose to harness that more and work with it more than you have done up to this point in time. It is a matter of choice. It is a matter of conscious choice. Even us who are optimists, eternal optimists, I understood for myself, yes, being an eternal optimist was great, but not acknowledging that there is darkness when I feel that I've been deluged with it, just makes it harder to get out. Being an optimist and harnessing this particular secret of openness allows me to be open even to darkness and allows me to see through the darkness. It's as if optimism is that sliver of light that you walk around with. And you step into this clearing of openness. And, if you've ever been in a pitch dark room, even a tiny little sliver of light it means that it is dark no more. And light really multiplies and spreads very fast, much faster than it takes darkness to take over. Darkness has to work super hard to convert an environment of light into pitch dark space. And that is a very powerful revelation for me, which allowed me, as an eternal optimist, sometimes, we are very prone to putting blinkers on and only seeing the light. But actually, the secret that you have available to you is openness. When you put the blinkers on and only see the light, you're clipping your wings. It's as if you've just half allowed them to open, just in case somebody else notices it and comes and clips it. And it's okay in this clearing of openness, it's okay to acknowledge, oh, that's why I had done it. Okay, that just becomes one of the ingredients that you're going to either discard or use to strengthen your discernment. So, for those who are saying, I really would like to be this way, and I can't, you can. Because you were a born optimist. And each one of us has had the quest and desire and has been an alchemist for our life at some point. So an optimist that takes on, and owns up to being an alchemist of life experiences creates a whole variety of new possibilities and new openings and new opportunities that continue to multiply and continue to self-regenerate. It's just a matter of making the choice, taking that step. Take your time in really getting to know your lay of the land, including your own attitudes, your own approaches, your own reactions. The second secret that's hidden within optimism is, goes by the label of memorable. So as an eternal optimist, you have a presence about you, that you leave a mark that is memorable for people. And it's an energetic imprint, as if you carry, that people experience from you, that makes you memorable. Energetically, your energy signature is one that people receive. And you know why that is? Because everyone is an eternal optimist. So when they are in the presence of, everyone is an optimist. They're not necessarily an eternal optimist. They're a born optimist. So even if they've had layers and layers of life experiences that has made them, go a certain way, when they are in the presence of one that is powerfully and with conscious awareness implementing optimism as a way of life, it sparks a curiosity in them. And they start having little experiences. They almost crave the company of this person, though they can't quite handle being with that person for too long because it challenges so much of what they have now created as their safety net. And that's their journey, The main thing is it makes you memorable. Your energy signature is an uplifting, memorable one. And it becomes, for those who are not able to make the switch, it becomes a part of that their memorabilia, where they talk about, at this point in my life, I met this person, and this is the experience that emerged. And, I almost contemplated, should I be going in that direction? And I chose not to. Maybe things might have been different. But though it becomes a part of their, pleasurable reminiscences. Now, what does this matter to someone who is an optimist? It doesn't matter how other people think or view it. But what's important is by having this as a secret that you understand, you start to see how much of what you already have is worthy of honoring. It is this secret that is the secret that gives you a handle on really restoring dignity within yourself, which is honoring your own worthiness. Knowing that when you adopt the optimism way of living your life, you are memorable. You make a mark. You make a dent in someone who might be spinning in a space of anxiety or anxiousness. That knowing can be very powerfully self empowering. So, with this one, you know, how do you work with these secrets? How do you integrate them in how you live your life? You work with these secrets by um, by really noticing what has occurred. Those of you who know how I work and really the underlying philosophy of my thinking, it is always about bring it into your reality, bring it into your current reality, because that's where it gets foundation and it adds that magic spark to the fuel that it already is, that fuels you forward. So just look back at your own experiences with people, others, who you think were adopting an optimism way of life, and what impact they had on you. There will be those that will be so euphoric and so over the top that it may feel a little bit disconcerting, and yet there was something special about this person, their energy, their vibe, or whatever. And really, what I'm doing here is reactivating a remembrance, just so that you can tap into optimism within yourself. So, recognizing that this secret makes you memorable is a very powerful ingredient to sharpen your memories, even. Because what is the first step to starting to, not remember things? It's because over time, consciously, we just brush certain things out. We just push things away. Don't want to remember that. Don't want to remember that. And that can happen when you are an optimist with blinkers on and you're not aware of these secrets. Once you understand that these are the hidden secrets in optimism, and as an optimist, I've been an eternal optimist who has heard time and time again, take those blinkers off, see what's really going on. It's not quite, everything isn't just rosy and shiny, you know. And when I was an eternal optimist, I didn't want to hear any of that. Once I understood these secrets, I was like, okay, I actually can move forward with ease, joy, and grace, have a lightness of being by harnessing each of these secrets. And the interesting thing is, because we are all a born optimist, we have access to these secrets. And they're there. They're hidden. So as an eternal optimist, when I said, okay, I choose the optimism way, and I declare that, I went into memorable. And I found It was in one of my silence phases, and it was a 5 days of silence where I really went in and looked at all those memories that I had pushed away, that I did not want to even go there, that made me lose faith. I mean, really, nothing makes you do anything. You choose. But that comes from harnessing the openness secret that underlies optimism. So, in actually allowing those memories to surface, not because I wanted to feel weighed down and sad, I recognized that all those memories that I just wanted to push away in the background, they were so alive that they were occupying a very big part of my field energetically. They were present in my field. By bringing them up just so that they could pass, knowing that my optimism choice of living my life is not going to change. And I will take from these memories what's there for me to take, the nugget of learning, the nugget, the special ability to discern more acutely, whatever it was, it just passed. I did give permission to my cells, let it go, and you have my permission. It brought about a, it further accentuated this clearing in which I could create anything. I had not realized how much that clearing was occupied by this stuff that was coming in the way of me being memorable and definitely affecting. I was starting to lose words, couldn't quite think of what word to use next. It just disappeared. I thought it was all sorts of things. Oh, hormonal imbalance. I mean, there was no hormonal imbalance. I knew that. And yet I was using that as an ongoing excuse, keeping the energy signature of hormonal imbalance, which I had some point in the past in place, even though I didn't experience it at the time. But that was just because I had all this cloudiness and clutter and clogginess and stickiness of these memories that I'd said, no more, I'm not going to go there. Well, go there. Go there. Harness the secret of openness. Go there. Go to the stuff that has been hidden with the intention you are allowing it to pass through. The third secret hidden in optimism is ingenious. It's like a perennial creator, that creative force, that innovative force, the force that sparks up your imagination. We have it. We have it with us. We have it within us. We are a born optimist. Here I am, seeing the birth of my grandbaby. He's 3 months old and now, and I have a 3-year-old as well. And I'm just seeing these kids. They are an optimist. My 3-year-old decided he loves jumping, and he loves jumping from one place to another. And from a tiny baby, he would do these yoga postures, and now he consciously does yoga postures, like really complicated ones. Of course, he decided to jump from one piece of furniture to another and fell and developed this big bump. So he has this really big bump right in the middle of his forehead that's there right now, you know? And we were all like, okay, this kid is going to become cautious now. And now he has become discerning. But that optimism is back, you know? Even though the place where this occurred, there were other parents and other people that were saying to him, Oh, Leo, you're always jumping around. This is bound to happen. You got to stop doing this. He didn't bother with any of that. We thought he's going to hold on to these dialogues in his head, and or will start stopping himself from really being alive. It's completely alive. It's like I notice that bump and I go ouch just looking at it. And he's not getting going ouch. He's just very sweetly, presenting himself to the world. So he's, this creativity, we never lose it. It's there within us. When creativity gets dampened is when we choose the route of consumption. So and consumption leads to instant gratification, creativity provides long-term fulfillment. And the hidden secret in optimism is in the ingenious nature that is innate to us. Can you imagine what you can do by applying that ingenuity within in your choices, in your problem solving? That combined with the fact that there is a clearing of openness and you are worthy because you're also memorable, and you can now let your imagination go and see what emerges. What I did was I took each one of these and I said, okay, I'm going to see what the experience is like with each one. And here's a problem that I wish to solve. I'm now going to work with the secret of ingenious that is hidden within optimism. I always begin with the lay of the land. So, where am I actually a fully functional creative? Where am I in the realm of going after instant gratification? And what's the impact of this instant gratification? What next after being instantly gratified? Or do I just drop that and go for long term fulfillment instead? What I saw was when I allow myself to delve in consumption mode, it starts consuming me. Consumption done discerningly, enjoying and celebrating that instant gratification, knowing that you're actually going to be apply the ingenious secret and innovatively take that celebration and see what you've gotten from it so you can create your next collection of experiences. That brings you back into creation. So the thing is, the secret of ingenious keeps you in that creative space. You only go into consumption when you choose to, and when you choose to remain in consumption, it consumes you. Be it your negative thoughts, be it any particular habit, whatever it may be, consumption consumes you. When it consumes you, how does it consume you? It actually starts a bleed of your life force. It starts bleeding, 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 bleeding. And then you go for more consumption and more consumption and more consumption. And then you're consumed by it. Know that optimism is a choice of how you're going to live your life that you made when you were born. It's in you. And it's up to you to restore and resurrect that. Apply your ingenious nature to allow your imagination to flow and get innovative as a matter of conscious choice. If you're stuck in a place, choose a little thing. I'm going to get innovative about bringing in those things that bring a smile to my face. You can begin with something like that. And remember, the exciting thing here is every choice you make is a baby step. And you know my definition of a baby step. If you know babies, they take their step and that's it. They've started walking. They're going to run next. There is no going back. And it feels like a small step, and it's a milestone step. So take it for yourself. This is something you're born with. And use your ingenious secret that you have access to. The fourth secret hidden in optimism. I have worked with this very efficiently and very effectively. It's turnaround. It can turn around anything. And then when you get intentional about what is it that you are choosing for your life, your turnaround of whatever the situation is takes you in that direction. It's literally like, you know, taking a U-turn just because you realize, oh, you're going on the wrong road, and then foot on the gas, off you go, you accelerate, and you can get to your destination in time or before time. Wherever you are, however far gone you may be in the direction of darkness, optimism as a way of life, working with your imagination, your ingenious nature, knowing that you are memorable, you make a mark, you count, and you are in this clearing of openness, which is your laboratory, your playground as an alchemist. You can turn around anything. The piece that keeps us moving in the wrong direction, knowing that it's time to turn around, is when we become very attached to the rear view mirror as a way of providing us that safety and security, that we land up looking at that more than looking forward. Stepping into the clearing of openness gives you your wings back. So when you get into the turnaround, you are able to unleash your ingeniousness. And you can be in a space where you can be creative and innovative with the memorabilia of your life experiences and life choices, working in the alchemical playground of openness. Just this knowing that when you choose the optimism way of life, nothing holds you back. You can always turn around anything, any situation. You don't have to battle your way through it. That's the reason why this 7 secrets hidden in optimism is coming through as a pearl of wisdom. You don't have to use bull force. There is no have to. The 5th secret hidden in optimism is that the label is palatial. It's like your own palace. It is palatial. It has grandeur. It is massive. It has wonderful walkways. It has places that you can just sit down and enjoy the vista. It gives you various alcoves to just be there and stand and stare and learn and discern. And it has your throne. It has the place that is an automatic magnet for those that honor you as you honor yourself to show up. And it's never too late. A palace is a palace, even if it becomes a ruin. It has the grandeur, you know? And this is where I connected the dots to my realization that my home is where I am. And it's a palatial one. It doesn't matter that I may be in a very tiny monastic room going through an extended period of silence. The expansiveness of the wisdom that opens up. It's like being in the largest library in the world. Optimism gives you access to that. And it is a palace. And when you imagine what a palace has and what a palatial space does for you, there are so many different things that you can literally get your ingenious into action. You can just let your imagination flow. You can imagine what's available to you. And by imagining it stationed in your ownership of you as an optimist, you're actually anchoring the energetics of everything that you imagine. It's like an ongoing regenerative vision board that you are constantly working with. And that is there. You're walking in and out of your palace. You're just walking in and out of the same door, not realizing it's so palatial. So once you get the hidden secret in optimism is that it is palatial, you realize you don't have to, when you go on a tour, like I'm in this amazing place on Lake Constance right now, and I'm doing all this work online, which means I really have to be in a place. And there are all these amazing tours and stuff that they are doing for people that are guests here. And okay, I don't have to go there. I can, if I want to, I experience the lake. I can bring the experience of the lake to me. Yes, I enjoy the vistas, but I don't have to go into that treadmill of if it's Tuesday, it must be Belgium. Remember that old movie? And that's how we live our lives sometimes. But hey, you are in this palace of extraordinary miracles. And the palatialness of life and opportunities and openings to come alive and in different experiences. In this palace, you can create a forest that you're going to walk through. The forest could be a eucalyptus forest. Just if you feel that you're short of breath, you walk into your eucalyptus. It's up to you to create whatever it is that you want. This hidden secret of palatial, hidden within optimism, literally gets you to understand, aha, the world is my oyster. And I can create pearls of experiences anytime I want. That little irritant that comes in to me, I can transform it into a precious pearl that gives me that experience of abundantness. Literally, that's what the palatial secret does for you. Experience it. You will notice your breath becomes deeper, your chest expands, your head lifts up, the pressure on your spine starts to disappear. It's quite amazing just recognizing and experiencing that. The sixth secret hidden in optimism is standing tall. It's as if you can claim your spine back. You can claim that foundational structure that differentiates you from other living beings. It is our spine, and how we choose to stand tall with it in a vertical way differentiates us from other living beings. And this standing tall is not a curse. It is a knowing that in any event, whatever occurs, you can look at the whole picture and take from it whatever it is that really, you know, creates those delectable, delicious juices going. You don't have to eat the whole thing. Even though it might have been there in front of you, you can allow most of it to pass and only pick and choose that which you want. Allowing yourself to stand tall. We put the burden on ourselves. We take it on and make it a responsibility as opposed to use it, utilizing these secrets and transform our ability to respond. So this secret is available to you when you choose the optimism as optimism way of living your life. I'm aware of the time, so I'm moving to the seventh one, which is splendor. Splendor is the secret to harmony and harmonizing and harmonization of everything. The hidden secret in optimism is splendor. It's like you have the key. Like you are the alchemist. You are the memorable one. You are the one that is the king or queen of your palace. You are the ingenious. You have that ingeniousness in you. And you stand tall, not beaten down or weighed down by anything, not pushing it away, seeing it in the face, taking what there is to take, actioning what is yours to action, harmonizing the learnings along the way, harmonizing different points of view, not as a task that is heavy, but just by your way of being. Your way of being in the secret of splendor. You start seeing what are the points of harmony. Your listening shifts. Your point of view starts to shift. The courage starts to build up within you as you're able to connect the dots and bring things together because you enter at that space of harmony, inner harmony. The deep-seated inner conflict starts to dissolve. As you choose optimism as a way of living your life and coming alive. It calls for that harmony between your soul essence expressing itself through your human body. The palace of extraordinary miracles. There's so much more that we can talk about, like each one of these secrets is a huge body of work in itself. And for now, take these 7 and play with them. Create your own distillation of what it means for you to apply the secret. With that, I hand over to you, Catherine.
Mynoo, thank you so much. I don't know how many pages of notes I just took, but what I wanted to just say before we offer up our words, I've been on this journey with Mynoo and experienced everything she's speaking of. And literally just in being optimistic and having possibility, it truly materialized in front of my eyes. And I witnessed myself going from devastation, just as low as you can go, to total elation. at the snap of the fingers. And everything that Mynoo is speaking of, literally being in a palace of extraordinary miracles where everything that you could ever imagine can come true. So I'm seeing a new retreat, Mynoo. I'm like, I think this is opening up this new opportunity for us to gather together, because Mynoo's right. We've been 10 days on this. It's extraordinary. But I would love to read from Mynoo any closing words, comments as we end this beautiful evening of splendor. And I feel so effervescent. I don't even know what to say. But I would love to, have everyone join in with their gratitude and just give us your thoughts, your closing words for tonight. And I'll just read those for Mynoo. I see people typing away. So, love this. And welcome back to Net. I'm glad you got my text, my little reminder. I was optimistic you would be here tonight. Refreshed with cool spirit. Beautiful. Optimism feels really good, especially when it's 24/7. Absolutely. So grateful, perfect timing. I think that's true for a lot of us. Gratitude. The optimistic energy is my best friend. Gorgeous.
Fabulous. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
And I'll just end with this one from Maryel. Optimism is contagious. And yes, it is. So we will be here next week for the 30th Pearl of Wisdom. It's just unbelievable how these are flying by. So be sure to come and join in. And yes, thank you again. And Mary says, so timely, so helpful, such accuracy, and optimism revived. And with that,
fabulous.
Hi to everyone. Love to you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.